But how will the overnight cues impact the Indian markets? We have our research team joining in with how the trade setup looks like and at the stocks that are likely to be in the news today. First up, Ekta Batra joins in to get all the market cues that we need to watch for today. Morning, Ekta. Please tell us more.
Hi, morning. Well, definitely, it seems as though the markets would probably see another range-bound session today, or at least a start to it. That's what the Nifty, the implied open is indicating. But I'll just list down what exactly took place on Friday's trading session as well. Because Friday, it was largely lower in a range-bound session. The financials underperformed. The Sensex fell around close to 200 odd points. The Nifty fell around over 30 odd points. In terms of flows, the FIIs net sold after 2 days of continuously buying. So they net sold around 477 odd crores. Overnight, what is negative is that oil has risen 3% after a sharp week-long sell-off on supply-demand concerns. We have US, however, which is positive. It closed higher. It is up for the third straight week. The Dow, for example, is rallied around 5.7% in the month of November. Asia is currently mixed. GIFT Nifty is indicating just about a flat start. Now, however, back home, watch for trends within the banking as well as the mid-cap space, because the Nifty Bank on Friday fell around 578 odd points. The Nifty Bank underperformed on a week-to-date basis, down over 1%. And the mid-cap index rose around 85 odd points. It was up for the third straight week and hit a record high intraday. So intra-week rather. So these are the two indices, whether or not we will see follow-on buying at the mid-caps and whether we will see further sell-off in the Nifty Bank would be two of the trends that we need to watch out for. Overall, as of now, it's indicating that maybe a bit of a consolidatory start is what we could expect for our markets.
Thanks for that, Ekta. A bit of a consolidatory start, and it's been that kind of a week, hasn't it? But now over to Abhishek Kothari, who will be listing out the stocks to watch out for in today's trading session. Morning, Abhishek. What do you have for us?
Morning, Homaz. To begin with, US FDA for Cipla, company's Indore facility has received warning letter from US FDA. In the other news on US FDA, Aurobindo Pharma, the US FDA inspection of APL Healthcare's Telangana unit has closed with zero observation. Coming on to the result season, ESAF SFB asset quality deteriorated sharply over there. Gross NP ratio is up to 2.64% versus 1.65% on a sequential basis. Despite strong deposit momentum, it's not translated into AUM growth on a sequential basis. So sequentially, their AUM growth was just 1.7%. SBI Card, in terms of RBI's new norms, they say that that will reduce the capital by around 4% or 400 basis points. RITES awarded tender for 10 diesel electric locomotives by CFM Mozambique. They have lost tender for 300 high side wagons by CFM Mozambique as well. Larsen and Toubro, the General Tax Authority Qatar has imposed 111.3 crore for tax period for FY17 and 127.6 crore for FY18. So an appeal has been filed by the company, as the company believes it is arbitrary and unjustified. Vedanta, they have seen a rating downgrade. CRISIL has downgraded the rating to AA minus from AA earlier. Birla Corp API grants license to company Siemens plant at Chandaria to use official API monogram with effective from 17th November 2023. Overall reality, the company has executed an agreement for sale with REO Residency Company Private Limited and others for acquiring land approximately of about 14.816 acres at Sector 58, Gurugram, Haryana. Dalmia Sugar, they have disruptions at their operations at Kolhapur and Ninai Devi units in the state of Maharashtra due to farmers' Sangathan agitation. This could have a material impact is what the company says. Hikal Limited, they have received a warning issued to the compliance officer by SEBI, which is a negative news for them. Back to you.
Plenty of stocks to watch out for this morning. Thanks for that, Abhishek. And lastly, Nigel D'Souza is joining in with the FNO Qs this morning. Nigel, good morning. 19,800 has been a resistance for the Nifty. Thursday, Friday, we both crossed that level on both the days, but failed to sustain above that.
Well, that's right, Harmaz. Good morning. If you look at Friday's trading session, the Nifty Bank was the one that's struggling. Despite of that, the Nifty didn't get hurt very, very badly. And the reason was there were some shorts that were covered out on the Nifty open interest. So if you look at the Nifty open interest, it was a little bit lower. While on the Nifty Bank, bank, shorting has come back into play out there, and that's where the open risk build-up out there was close to around 7.5%. Now, the FI net short positions, well, it saw a swing factor of close to around 10,000 contracts. How's that? They unwounded 5,000 longs, and they added close to around 5,000 shorts. So that's why there's a 10,000 contract swing factor that's played out there. Now, in terms of, the options that were very active, 19,800 call, well, that was fairly active. The open interest build-up was close to around 40 lakh shares approximately, and the premium was roughly around 85 to around 90 rupees, which brings us to the resistance level. Remember, last week we went to the high of around 19,875, and from there we did see some bit of selling. So 19,875, 19,900, that becomes a resistance zone, going by the kind of open interest build-up you had at the 19,800 call as well. But at lower levels, the 19,600 seems to be a bit of a support zone. You have the 50 DMA that's at around the 19,588 odd mark. The Nifty Bank, that's at a very, very crucial technical factor. So if you pull up that chart, yes, that's the beautiful one that we're talking about. The 20 and the 200 DMA, they are very, very close on the downside. So that becomes the important support level at around this 43,200 to around 43,500. That's the crucial support zone. You don't want the Nifty Bank to go ahead and break that decisively, because otherwise we could see some more pain. For starters, I think the gift Nifty is suggesting we start off more or less flattish. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Nigel. Is the 200-point range on the Nifty, but the Nifty Bank is what needs to be watched out for more closely this morning, as Nigel was highlighting. Time for a short break here on Power Breakfast. News and updates continue on the other side. Stay tuned.